There's a pretty common requirement when delivering business intelligence capabilities that we hear all the time. We want our users who are content consumers to have a great user experience, and it needs to be easy. For people looking for something like this, I always have one answer. You need to embed content. I'll show you what I mean by this and some great usability benefits that you'll get from embedding content versus using it directly. Additionally, I'll show you some tips on how you can configure Dundas BI to provide a perfect user experience for your users. And on the subject of design and usability, I'm often forced to ponder one thing. What is a UX designer's favorite fruit? It's apples. Definitely apples. Think about it. I'm Jeff, and this is Off the Charts with Jeff. So I could prattle on about how to deliver the best ease of use experience for your users, but I think if we do a quick compare and contrast, you'll quickly see for yourself and come to your own conclusions. Also, some of these concepts do have a full and complete video covering them. So if there is a video covering this content already in more depth, I'll stick something here for you so you can see the title and find it for yourself. And do keep in mind that while I am using Dundas BI for all these examples that I'm going to show, the same problem exists and in many cases is even more magnified in other business intelligence platforms. So let's do this. What's better if you know nothing about the application that you're using? Access to a dashboard with all these menus and toolbars and additional information that has nothing to do with the content you care about? Or a dashboard like this, where it's full screen, has no menus, and is just content. This is what I mean when I say embedding. You probably have a public SharePoint application or some kind of portal within your company, anything where people go to get information. Embed your dashboards and reports there and make them accessible just like any other content. It should feel like a web page to your viewers. Now, what about features? This menu here with many options, is this something that you want your users to see? Or maybe you want to keep it simple so that users don't need to be trained on how to use each of these options. In Dundas BI, you get a lot of power, but you can also control what you want to give to your users. So if your aim is to provide a simple user experience, trimming these features down and removing the ones that they don't need, or even removing this menu entirely, can significantly enhance the user experience for you. Sometimes you might even see features work differently. Hi, Boo. No, we're actually in the middle of a conversation right now. So if you don't mind, I'll just get back to it. Okay, sometimes you might want to see features work differently from the out-of-the-box behavior. Export is a great example. By default, the export screen has a lot of options available to your users, maybe too many options. And is this a great user experience? Maybe you could disable the toolbar altogether and provide buttons on the dashboard to allow the user to export with a single click. You can even control the experience and determine the options that your user would see when they hit that button, so they don't even get presented with a dialogue. Simple activities like this will create a much more friendly experience for your users. And by the way, speaking of disabling features, in Dundas BI, you actually have user access control, so that you can go in to specific features and actually remove them generally for all users if you don't want. By default, everything's enabled. But if you have brand new users and you want to ease them in to a new BI tool, maybe disable the lion's share of functionality and then enable it slowly for them. That way they're not drinking from the fire hose as they take in everything all at once. Now, another way to get an instant usability boost is to build in your navigation as well. Like my first example with too many menus, you're probably going to have more than one report or dashboard that you want to present to your users. I see many people simply provide direct access to the BI tool and expect people to use that tool to navigate through all the content that they want to see. The first problem is that you can potentially have a big mess in terms of what's actually in your BI tool. People will create a lot of clutter, reports that didn't go anywhere, half-baked content. It's better to keep it clean. Do you know how hard it is to find something when your folders are full of clutter? And yeah, this here is an extreme example of what we see, but it's also pretty darn common. And instead, why not provide a nice built-in navigation menu for your users so that they can get to the different content that you want to offer right on the dashboard, and again, enhancing that web-like experience that I was talking about earlier. This way, users get dropped on a web page and they can get everywhere they need from a single place. It's so much better. And even self-service can have an easy mode if you want to provide a similar experience to your users. Perhaps instead of giving your power users access to everything and allowing them thousands of options, we can go a lot simpler. Here is an excellent example where users can make small changes like choosing a metric that they want to see. Or another one where you can pick the measure or category that you want to group by. This example is one of my favorites. One of our partners even created an excellent embedded self-service interface. Here the user can come in and quickly see what they want without ever getting into the weeds and going directly into the development screens offered by Dundas BI. Nothing to train here, it's easy. So there you go. Much of this comes down to what you're providing to your user and the way you present content in general for your users. There's a ton of content available if you want to dig into any of these areas. Have a look. You'll laugh, you'll cry, but most importantly, you'll get all the information you need in order to provide a great user experience. Thanks for watching.